Hey, everybody. I wanted to share with you the essence of a conversation that I had with a dear soul friend of mine. And she was making the observation, so brilliant, that any time that she finds herself feeling protective or defensive, that really what that means is that her identity feels threatened in some way. That she feels threatened, that we all do, whenever any of us are feeling protective or defensive. It's because our sense of self, our identity, um, is, yeah, it isn't feeling secure and safe. So when we're being defensive, when we're, um, and there was a whole conversation around making other people wrong. For example, this beautiful friend of mine is, in the spirit of sort of being open and curious, has been looking at this, what's called flat earthers, people who still in this day and age think that the earth is flat, despite evidence. And um, so tempting, even in our conversation, to kind of go there in our minds about making somebody else stupid, making their idea stupid. And that's just defensiveness and protectiveness. I'm just using that as an example. But any time that we're making somebody else stupid or wrong or bad, and have that kind of knee jerk, that's lame, or whatever. It's because it's really threatening our sense of self. And my friend wisely said also that that if we stay open and consider that somebody else is maybe has a correct idea, or right, if they're right, then I must be wrong. This kind of polar, it has to be either or. And that is threatening to our sense of identity, because our identity needs to feel secure. It needs to feel certain. So to stay open and be curious is threatening to the identity. Some people would say ego, our idea of who we think we are. And that's the basis of the us versus them mindset, or reality. This is the essential separation. I mean, to have to make somebody be other and to define myself, this is me, that's you, and the pushing against. And anytime we're against something, it's really about preservation of our sense of self, our ego. And I just thought that was really amazing to be aware of in terms of how we're interacting with others in our personal lives and in the world. I mean, we can certainly see the us versus them. We just went through the elections, the us versus them. They're wrong, I'm right. And how our identities get all wrapped up in what we think is correct and right, and making other people wrong, just what I'm saying. And also in our own interiors, making any part of us wrong or stupid or bad, just is that separation, that trying to preserve self, and it doesn't allow us to really be available and listen to another person, or listen to the valid aspects of ourselves that arise, and it holds us in a really rigid place. We're not free to move if we're busy defending a very fixed idea of who we are and what we are, and who I'm supposed to be and who you're supposed, all the shoulds that come from making something wrong. And as my friend pointed out, there's no way, if I'm defending myself or making somebody wrong, there's no way ultimately for me to be free. I can't be relaxed and natural. I can't be who I am if all of my energy is going towards preserving this idea. And this idea of who I am won't allow me to change and therefore be natural and in the moment. Because I'm invested in this in not changing. I mean, that's the thing about the identity. The identity doesn't want to change. It wants to keep everything the same and stay secure so that it knows its relationship to everything. Yeah, I just thought that was really worth sharing, this just little tidbit of like, anytime I'm feeling protective or defensive, making someone, something, or some part of me wrong, I am not letting myself be natural. I'm trying to preserve a really limited idea of myself, the world. I'm trying to prevent myself from changing because that identity really doesn't want change. So I'll just leave it there. There was a lot more to the conversation, but just wanted to share that. Thank you for listening, and I hope that I had some freedom for you. I mean, ultimately, I just want myself to be able to be relaxed and natural and fluid and responsive to life and to what's coming up through me, rather than be stuck by shoulds and supposed tos and definitions of right and wrong and all that stuff. So I hope that helps some part of you feel relaxed. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.